As Donald Trump and Kamala Harris make their case to voters, they're spending most of their time in a handful of battleground states. But hundreds of miles from any swing state campaign stop, the Pacific Northwest is where you'll find the only truly swing county left in the U.S. Videographer Taylor Moss and radio reporter Lauren Gallup from Northwest Public Broadcasting have more.
I'm going to do a little yelling. Hup, hup. Come on, sheep!
In a far northwestern corner of Washington state, Billy Fortini is taking his flock of sheep out to pasture. Delphine is the first to get moving.
One of them will act like the bellwether and be the leader, and the rest will kind of follow along.
In sheep herding, a bellwether is the lead sheep. Shepherds put a bell around its neck to keep track of the flock. But in politics, it's a place to watch that usually reflects a bigger trend. And in presidential politics, bellwethers are nearly extinct. Of the more than 3,000 counties across the country, only one, Clallam County, Washington, has a 40-year-long perfect record. The residents have voted for the national winner in every presidential election since 1980. In the city of Port Angeles, people say there's a reason this county of 77,000 has bucked the national trend toward political polarization.
People out here are really independent. I describe Port Angeles as the end of the road.
I think there's a certain friendliness here as well. My neighbor is a person, not not an enemy.
Every Thursday morning at the local senior and community center, residents of Port Angeles gather around a big table to talk politics.
White Christian nationalists.
Immigration.
Fiscal responsibility.
The border.
Trump.
The discussions can be lively. People aren't afraid to express disagreement on hot-button topics like immigration.
Why do we have drugs? They're coming across the southern border.
I'm totally in favor of legal immigration, but they do need to be vetted.
People who are different can get along.
Though the political divides can be sharp, the participants are glad to have a place to sit down to politely debate and hear viewpoints that differ from their own. They agree that's what makes this place special.
One thing about in this community that I feel is when it comes down to brass tacks, I can rely on any of my neighbors, regardless of their political affiliation.
These old newspapers, our rare books library, this is all reference photos. We've got hundreds of thousands of those.
At the North Olympic History Center, historian David Brownell says the county's independence streak goes all the way back to its founding.
So there were all of these sort of different political influences as soon as Clallam County became a county.
How do you think that has influenced the political landscape in this community?
That's like a 30-minute answer.
Vast forest land and 200 miles of coastline attracted early settlers and helped fuel the timber, fishing, and service industries.
Instead of sort of conservative and liberal, you could think of it as more as pro and anti-regulation.
Between those factors, I think that's kind of how we ended up as being like the fulcrum in the political seesaw.
People will find out whether Clallam County remains the last bellwether when votes are counted in November. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Taylor Moss in Port Angeles, Washington.